Manchester United 1, Lyon 2, a game of two halves, a game of two good halves, which were very similar. Both halves were brilliant in the first 15 minutes of the first half and first 15 minutes in the second half, but there was definitely a drop-off. There's positives, there's negatives, there's a lot to talk about from today's game. People might say it's 1-0, it's a boring 1-0, but today's game really opens my eyes to a lot of things. And one of the things that opened my eyes to, first of all, was the impact of Kovar. No disrespect, no hate on David De Gea, but having a goalkeeper that is good on the ball, good with their feet, good at distributing the ball. We could already see Varane and Martinez go up levels. We could already see Manchester United build up from the pitch a lot better. And that highlighted to me the impact that Andre Onana is going to have. A lot of Man United fans saying, look, keep Kovar here as number 2, keep Kovar here as number 2. He's a fantastic keeper. I'm all for that, but Kovar's still a young player and he wants to play week in, week out. I'd personally loan him to the Championship rather than taking him back to Czech Republic. I think that Kovar is more than capable of having a career in a top 5 league, potentially Liga 1 or becoming a Bundesliga keeper, but that is up to the player for the player to decide. But what was the most important thing about that Kovar performance for me was how brilliant he was, how he really helped with our play. He was almost like a centre back at times, but then that Martinez could push further up the pitch. And I think that goalkeeping and having a good goalkeeper in possession with the ball, a goalkeeper that's comfortable playing a high line, you can see the all-round impact it has on us. You could see Varane look more comfortable. His passing was a lot better. And actually, when you were looking at weaknesses of that game, my weaknesses were Antony and potentially Wan-Bissaka. They were the weaknesses of those games. Whereas last season we had loads of weaknesses in terms of controlling games from the back. And I thought we distributed the ball so well. And for me, that highlights the impact Onana's going to have. And another big thing about this game is, and I'm going to talk about Mainoo and Hannibal, Mejbri and Amad Diallo and Dan Gore and some of the players that were absolutely incredible today in a minute. But it also the lack of striker, the lack of focal point, the lack of number 9 in the first half playing with a false 9. United, especially the first 15, 20 minutes, could have been 3-4 up, getting in the right positions, creating, playing some absolutely fantastic, entertaining and attacking football. But not having that number 9 presence there really affected us in that final third, because what Hojlund will bring, and yes, 9 goals, and yes, he's inexperienced, but what Hojlund will bring is a number 9 presence. And you can't underestimate that. And I'm talking about a number 9 presence. And, I've said, look, people want Vlahovic. Vlahovic is like, he's a direct player. You can't play Vlahovic with Rashford, with Antony. Rashford wants to cut and score. Antony wants to cut and score. Vlahovic is kind of a selfish player. He likes to score. He's like Ronaldo. When we played Ronaldo, Rashford and Greenwood, it didn't work. It was 3 attackers. You need to bring in a striker that not only will be a focal point, but a striker that will be able to interlink with Rashford and Antony, a striker that's willing to create, make chances, get in those right areas. And Hojlund is that striker. And I think, what people don't realise is if you actually look at Hojlund, his positional awareness, the runs he makes, his technical ability, his quality, his physical presence, Hojlund gets in all the right areas. He actually has some of the highest XG. He's in the highest percentile of strikers in Serie A for XG, positional awareness, runs into the box, touches into the box. He will get in those areas. When we had the ball in these good areas, we didn't know what to do with the ball. We weren't scoring. We were overpassing. I think Sancho's not shooting. Hojlund's there. And then when we do get shots, we're not particularly clinical. And although Hojlund is raw and he's not quite clinical yet, Hojlund coming in today shows to me how important it's having a number 9 just for the positional awareness. I thought in the second half the front 3 was better. Do I think that front 3 is better than the front 3 we played in the first half? No, but I thought that front 3 was better because positionally they knew where to pass the ball and where to play the ball, and they had that focal point. And I think Hojlund, for me, watching this game is going to make such an impact. Onana is going to make such an impact from just watching this game. And I watched this game and I went, these new signs are going to have such a great impact on the way Man United play. These new signs are going to help us so much. And I'm really looking forward to next season. People will be negative. Look, the first 15, 20 minutes was great. It did fizz out. It got a bit boring. But we were still in control of the game. We still dominate possession. We still play good attacking football. And for people being negative, there's no Rashford, there's no Luke Shaw, there's no Casemiro, there's no Bruno Fernandes. Those 4 players are going to start every single game. There's no Hojlund, there's no Onana yet. 6 players who will be in our starting 11 next season weren't even playing in this preseason game. So I don't get why people are saying, oh, we're done for next season, we're screwed. No, Hojlund's coming in, he's going to make an impact. Onana's coming in, he's going to make an impact. Kobbie Mainoo was fantastic, but Casemiro's coming in. Hannibal Mejbri was fantastic, but Bruno Fernandes is coming in. And look, you've got Hannibal Mejbri and Kobbie Mainoo potentially as backup, which aren't looking like bad options. I still think we need Amrabat to come in. You've got Rashford coming in, who's an improvement in Sancho. Potentially, you've got Amad Diallo looking really great. So although Antony was iffy, let's see what Amad Diallo can do. Sancho, I think, will look better on the right-hand side. But with Rasmus Hojlund coming in, he will bring out the best of the wingers as well. I think he will improve the wingers. I think where United lack in this game, actually, was right back. I think this is about getting the striker in, getting another midfielder in to back Casemiro, and potentially getting another attacker in, potentially someone like Neymar on loan, so we can have someone to play left wing if Rashford plays striker. Also talked with Jack Felix on loan, seeing what we can do. But next window, I think it would be about getting these overlapping fullbacks. But what I liked again and what I saw from Ten Hag was actually Kobbie Mainoo, fantastic player, absolutely unbelievable player, absolutely pure quality Kobbie Mainoo is. But what I want to point out about Kobbie Mainoo, and what I found most impressive about Kobbie Mainoo, was the fact that he was dropping that back with the centre-backs. We lined up in a 4-3-3, but in possession, we were lining up with Kobbie Mainoo, Leach and Varane kind of at the back. And obviously, Kovar allowed us to do that as well. But Kobbie Mainoo, you know, he was defensively brilliant. He looked so comfortable. You wouldn't believe Kobbie Mainoo's just turned 18. He's more of an 8, Kobbie Mainoo. He's playing as a 6 role, so comfortably controlling the strings, dropping back in with the centre-backs, allowing the midfield to bomb up. And United, again, are playing this kind of 3-1-6 formation. And I have to say, I think Luke Shaw is going to absolutely thrive next season. And Luke Shaw is going to be so important for us in build-up. And I think, you know, bringing Luke Shaw back in there, Kobbie Mainoo showing glimpses excellent. I loved Hannibal's, Mejbri's just ability to want to get stuck in. And, you know, I'm mostly talking about the first half because those are the players that are mostly going to be involved next season. But second half, Dan Gore. How good was Dan Gore, people? 45 minutes, fantastic assist. And of course, Donny got the goal. And for me, it's so important that Donny Van De Beek did get that goal because I think he's a confidence player. And I saw a tweet by MUFC, Everyday MUFC in the first half, which I completely agree with. And he said his first time thoughts were that we were brilliant the first 15 minutes. We created a lot of chances and we should have been 2-3-0 up. And he said the finishing has been average and a clinical forward is needed. You know, and we need more return from our attackers. But one thing that Everyday MUFC pointed out in the tweet that I read is he said that the build-up was excellent. You know, Kovar was fantastic. This improved Varane. Martinez is obviously excellent in build-up. And Kobbie Mainoo was fantastic. The build-up from United is some of the best we've ever seen. And no disrespect on De Gea, but you could see the difference goalkeeper makes on our build-up and control of the game. You know, and what I loved about Kobbie Mainoo was he kept winning the ball. He's an 18-year-old and he just understood the game so well. It's fantastic. Hannibal was fantastic. Antony was a little bit predictable, needed a little bit more from Sancho, but Sancho was robbed of 2 assists. But you know what? It was some really good performances in the first half. I think we were better in the Leeds game, but that first 15 minutes, United were excellent. And I think Mainoo and Hannibal were the standout for me. Kovar was great. Thought Sancho was good. Lissandro Martinez, obviously unbelievable. But what I did notice was the lack of focal point. I want to share my screen with you. I want to get into the statistics. I want to talk about some of the players here. And this is why I'm recording on this, because I can get my screen up here. I thought Mason Mount was good. A lot of people saying, what does Mason Mount bring? It's the ground that Mason Mount covers. Mason Mount covers an unbelievable amount of ground. 56% possession, 13 shots, obviously the dominant side. If we did player ratings here, Kovar 7, Wan-Bissaka 6, Varane and Martinez 7, Fernandez 6, Mainoo's getting an 8, Mejbri's getting 7.5, Mount's getting a 7, Amad Diallo's getting a solid, strong 7, Antony's probably getting 6, and Sancho's probably getting 6.5 for me. I do think it's not fair on Sancho playing out of position. Will Fish, Johnny Evans was really impressive. He was absolutely solid. Gerardo's a great player. Williams, you know, the fact that Alvaro Fernandez is playing over Williams shows how much Ten Hag rates him. You know, Forson obviously looked okay. Hansen is going to be a special player. Fred looked all right. Gore was excellent for me. Donny Van De Beek got the goal. Hugo was good. Shame not to see players like Noah Emmerang. But I have to say, you know, really impressed from United as well. Goal came from Donny. Assist came from Dan Gore. But if we actually look at, you know, key statistics here, Donny Van De Beek was a threat. My toxic trait is that Donny Van De Beek will still make it at United. I solely believe that as well. Obviously, defensively, Varane was good. But I wanted to look at the passing statistics here. Rafael Varane, Fred, you know, Kobbie Mainoo is what I wanted to point out. 48 touches here from Kobbie Mainoo in the first half. You know, 33 out of 35 passes, so accurate on the ball. Key passes, Alvaro Fernandez, Amad Diallo, Antony, Dan Gore, Fred, Sancho, Hugo, all making some key passes there as well. Didn't do too many crosses, but Mason Mount was definitely a creative outlet. And then defensively, I thought Kobbie Mainoo was pretty good as well. If we can find Jules one, I think Kobbie Mainoo won't come up now because it's the second half, but Kobbie Mainoo won a fair few of his duels as well. So I was really impressed with what I saw from the United players. And look, it's only pre-season. It's not our strongest lineup. Arsenal will be a bigger test, a much bigger test. But the positives are we saw youngsters like Kobbie Mainoo and Hannibal showing potential. We saw the difference the goalkeeper's going to make, and we saw the importance as a striker. And those issues that we're pointing out in today's game, they will be solved. Wingers, we've got a lot of options. We need improvements from Antony. That should hopefully come. But all in all, I'm going to be positive. Wasn't the most exciting game of football, but there's no point being negative about it. Please do smash the like button. People, subscribe down below if you're new. I will be back about 9 p.m. tonight with a new show. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and bye.